Jason stood still as the cold chains dug into his wrists. The alien guards surrounding him had sharp silver armor and glowing green eyes. They didn't speak to him. They didn't look at him like a person. To them, he was just a human. A stranger. Maybe even a threat. He had landed on their planet by mistake. His ship had crashed during a scouting mission. His crew was gone. He was the only one left. For days he had wandered through the alien forests, hiding from creatures that looked like nightmares. Then one night he heard someone cry out. It was an alien girl, wounded and trapped under fallen rocks. She had dark purple skin and shining black eyes. Jason didn't know her name. He didn't care that she was not human. He only saw someone in pain. He saved her. That girl was Zara, and now, because of that moment, he stood in the middle of a grand alien court. He was still a prisoner, but not just a prisoner. He had been brought before the queen. Their queen was tall, with white hair that flowed like mist and armor that shimmered like stars. Her throne was made of bones and glowing crystals. Her voice echoed like thunder when she finally spoke. "Human," she said coldly, "you help my blood, but help can be a trick. Words can be false. My people demand proof, real proof." Jason didn't understand their language, but there was a translator drone buzzing near his head, repeating her words in his own tongue. The silence in the court was deep. Then Zara stepped forward. Her wounds had healed, but her voice shook a little when she spoke. "I believe he is. Not our enemy," she said. "He risked his life for me. But our queen wants more than words. In our tradition, loyalty must be proven through the sacred bond." Jason frowned. "What does that mean?" Zara looked into his eyes. "It means you must mate." He blinked. "Wait, what?" "Mating is not like humans do," Zara said quietly. "It is a ritual. A bonding of hearts and minds. It shows truth. If you lie, the bond will break and you will die." Jason looked around the room. Every alien eye was watching him, judging, waiting. The queen rose from her throne and raised a long staff carved with glowing symbols. "If you refuse," she said, "you will be executed at dawn." Jason's heart pounded in his chest. He had survived a crash. He had saved a life, and now he had to bond with someone from another species to survive? He looked at Zara. Her face was calm, but her eyes were full of fear not for herself, but for him. "You're asking me to trust you," he said slowly. She nodded. "Yes, as I trusted you when I was under those rocks. You could have left me, but you didn't." Jason took a deep breath. "And if I do this, if I bond with you, will they believe me?" "They might," she said. "Or they might try to kill us both. But at least we will know the truth." He looked at the queen, then back at Zara. "All right," he said. "I'll do it." Gasps echoed through the court. The queen stared at him, her eyes unreadable. Then she lowered her staff. "Prepare the ritual," she ordered. 2 guards stepped forward and unlocked Jason's chains. He rubbed his sore wrists and followed Zara as she led him out of the court. They walked through long glowing tunnels, past giant statues of past rulers, and into a quiet room filled with soft lights and cushions. "This is the beginning," Zara said. "Tonight we share breath. Tomorrow we share dreams. On the 3rd night, the bond is tested." Jason looked around. "What happens if we fail?" Zara looked away. "Then your mind may shatter. Or mine, or both." He laughed nervously. "Great, no pressure." But Zara smiled just a little. And for the first time since he landed on this strange world, Jason didn't feel completely alone. He sat beside her on the cushions. The room was warm. Her hand rested near his. He didn't know what the future held. He didn't know if he would survive, but he knew this. He had come to prove something, not just to the queen, not just to these aliens, but to himself, and this was only the beginning. Outside, the Queen watched through a crystal screen. Her face was calm, but her thoughts were sharp. She whispered to herself, "Let's see what kind of heart this human really has." The first test had begun. Zara's hidden pain the night was quiet, but Jason couldn't sleep. He sat in the soft, alien room, looking at the strange lights that floated near the ceiling. They looked like stars, but moved like jellyfish. His body was tired, but his mind was full of questions. Beside him, Zara sat cross-legged with her hands resting on her knees. Her eyes were closed, and her breathing was slow and deep. She had not spoken much since they entered the chamber. Jason didn't want to disturb her, but the silence was heavy. Finally, she opened her eyes and looked at him. "You are afraid," she said softly. Jason gave a small laugh. "You think? I crash-landed here, got chained, dragged before a glowing-eyed queen, and now I'm supposed to mate to stay alive. Afraid is putting it mildly." Zara's expression didn't change, but her voice grew gentler. "You don't need to fear me. I will not harm you." Jason looked at her more carefully now. Her face was strong yet delicate. Her skin shimmered slightly in the warm light. She seemed calm, but something about her eyes said otherwise. They held pain. Deep old pain. He leaned forward. "Why did you speak for me? Why risk yourself to defend a human?" She looked down. "Because you didn't have to save me, but you did." "That's not an answer." Zara hesitated. Then she took a long breath. "In our world, weakness is punished. Compassion is seen as dangerous. When I was small, I was told never to cry, never to help others unless ordered. I followed the rules. Until the day my mother was attacked. I begged the guards to save her. They didn't. They said it was not their duty." Jason listened, silent. "She died that day," Zara whispered. "In my arms, and I swore I would never follow blind orders again. When you saved me, I saw something I thought had died. Kindness. Even if you were a stranger." Jason's voice was low. "I didn't do it for a reward." "I know," Zara said. "That's why I trust you." For a while, neither of them spoke. The lights above shifted in color, casting soft blues and pinks across the room. Then Zara stood and walked to a small shelf. She brought back 2 silver bowls filled with a glowing liquid. "This is the first step," she said. "It is called breath-sharing." Jason raised an eyebrow. "Sounds romantic." Zara didn't smile. "It's not. It lets us feel each other's truth, our real selves. If you lie, your body will reject the drink." He took the bowl carefully. "And if I tell the truth, then the bond begins." They drank. The liquid was cold, but it burned going down. Jason closed his eyes. For a moment, everything was silent. Then suddenly he wasn't alone in his head. He saw flashes. His mother's face, the sound of bombs during the war, his first pet, his first failure, his best friend's death. All of it, pouring like a river through his soul. Zara gasped. She clutched her chest. He saw her memories too, her lonely training, a childhood filled with commands, a golden room where she cried alone, the pressure of being the queen's niece, the punishment when she asked too many questions, the fear of never being enough. Jason opened his eyes with a sharp breath. Zara was trembling. He reached out, unsure, but she didn't pull away. Her hand touched his lightly. "This is what it means to bond," she said quietly, "to see, to feel, and still choose to stay." Jason nodded slowly. "Then I'm staying." Zara looked at him for a long time. Her voice was barely a whisper. "You are strange for a human," he smirked. "I get that a lot." But before they could speak again, the door of the chamber buzzed. A shadow appeared in the hallway. A voice. spoke in the alien tongue sharp and full of hate. Zara's face turned pale. "What is it?" Jason asked. "Trouble," she said. "Some don't want this bond to succeed. They believe it will shame the royal line." Jason stood quickly. "Let them come." Zara looked at him, surprised. "You would fight for me?" Jason answered without thinking. "You already fought for me." For the first time, she smiled, just a little. It was the kind of smile that held pain, courage, and something more. Hope. But danger was coming. They could feel it. And tomorrow, the bond would be tested. Again, this time, not by feelings, but by fire. First night of trust, the cave was silent, but the silence was not peaceful. It was thick with tension, as if even the air was holding its breath. Jason sat close to the glowing rock wall, the warmth barely reaching his cold thoughts. Across from him, Zara knelt beside the small energy flame. It floated, colorless and quiet, between them. Her face was hard to read, alien, unreadable, but not cold, just guarded. They had taken the first step in the bond, but trust could not be forced. It had to be built. "You're quiet," Jason said, breaking the silence. Zara didn't lift her eyes. "Silence is safer in this place." Jason raised an eyebrow. "Afraid someone will hear us?" Zara shook her head slowly. "No, I'm afraid of what you might say." Jason leaned forward. "Why?" "Because if you speak with hate, if you speak like the others, I'll know I made a mistake." Jason didn't answer right away. Instead, he looked up at the rough ceiling of the cave. Small glowing insects drifted there, like stars trapped in a jar. "I've seen a lot of war," he said finally. "I've lost friends. I've watched humans die. I've watched aliens die too. I didn't ask for this fight. I just wanted to go home." Zara looked at him now. "But when I saw you under those rocks, I didn't think about war or sides. I just saw someone in pain." That made her flinch just slightly. "You don't speak like a soldier," she said. Jason gave a tired smile. "That's because I'm not. I fix ships. I build engines. I only learned how to fire a weapon when the war forced me to." Zara nodded. "We are both in roles we did not choose." Jason tilted his head. "You didn't choose this either?" "No," she whispered. "I was born into royal blood. I was told what to be, how to act, who to trust. And then you came, a human. An enemy. But you did not act like one." Jason moved closer to the flame. "Neither did you." They stared at each other across the soft light. Then Zara did something unexpected. She took off her silver arm guard and placed it on the ground. It was a symbol of rank and honor. Without it, she was just another person. Jason understood the meaning. He slowly removed the dog tag from his neck and set it down beside hers. 2 tokens. 2 lives, equal. The flame between them changed color, soft gold now, warmer, brighter. "It reacts to us," Jason said, surprised. "It feels truth," Zara answered. She reached out and gently touched his hand. "I don't know if this bond will work," she said, voice low. "But if you walk with me, even for one more day—" "I won't walk alone." Jason squeezed her fingers. Then we walked together. Outside the cave, hidden in the trees, a shadow moved silently. Not everyone wanted this bond to survive. The assassin strikes the forest outside the bonding cave was dark and still. Only the soft buzz of glowing bugs danced between the trees, like stars that had fallen and forgotten how to shine. But something else moved in the shadows, something colder, heavier, something with a purpose. Inside, Jason was finally asleep, his body curled near the soft heat of the energy flame. He looked peaceful for once. Zara watched him from a few steps away, her mind uneasy. She hadn't slept. She couldn't. Something didn't feel right. She stood up slowly, moving toward the cave entrance. Her sharp eyes scanned the shadows. Outside, the trees looked normal, too normal. That's what made it worse. Suddenly, she heard it, the smallest sound. A breath where no breath should be. Her heart stopped. She turned just as a dark figure leapt from the treetops, blade drawn, glowing with poison. Zara shouted, "Jason down!" Jason rolled just in time as the blade struck the ground beside him with a sharp spark. The flame went out. The cave dropped into darkness. The attacker moved fast, striking again. Jason blocked with his arm and cried out in pain, but managed to push the figure back. Zara rushed in, drawing her hidden blade from her boot. "You dishonor the queen," she shouted. The assassin said nothing. But Zara knew who it was. The armor was royal. The attacker was one of the queen's personal guards. This wasn't a rogue rebel. This was a message. Jason struggled to his feet, bleeding from his shoulder. "Who is this?" "Someone who thinks killing you will protect our traditions," Zara growled. The assassin struck again, faster, stronger, more brutal. But Jason grabbed a rock and swung. It hit the assassin's helmet hard enough to break it. The attacker stumbled. Zara took her chance. With one clean motion, she drove her blade across the enemy's chest and knocked him to the floor. The poison blade fell from his hand. Jason was breathing hard. Blood ran down his arm. Zara dropped to her knees beside him. "You're hurt." "I've had worse," he muttered. "You saved me again," she whispered. He looked at her through the pain. "We said we'd walk together. I meant it." Zara touched his face gently. "They want to stop us. This bond scares them." Jason gave a weak smile. "Then it must be worth something." The cave lights slowly returned, glowing. Warmer now, sensing their connection had deepened. Far away, in her private chamber, the queen watched everything through her crystal screen. Her guards waited for orders. But she did not speak. Instead, she stared at the image of her niece, holding the bleeding human, not with duty, but with care. And for the first time, the queen wondered, what if this human was truly loyal? Trial by fire at sunrise, the sky above the alien city turned a deep crimson, a warning in their culture. Crimson skies meant change, meant danger. Meant a test was coming. Jason stood at the edge of the trial pit, his arm still bandaged from the assassin's blade. Beside him, Zara looked tense but proud. Her royal badge now hung from her neck again, not out of duty but defiance. She had chosen her path, and she had chosen to walk it with him. Before them stretched the pit, a massive arena dug deep into. The ground, its floor cracked with lava veins and crawling with beasts bred only for pain and fear. These creatures didn't kill quickly. They tested the courage of their prey first. "The queen sent us here to prove our bond," Zara said softly. Jason stared into the pit. "She's really going to toss us in there like snacks?" Zara's lips twitched. "Only if we taste good." A horn echoed above. Guards opened the gate behind them. "No weapons," one of them barked. "Only your bond will decide if you live." Jason looked at Zara. "So how strong is our bond again?" She didn't answer with words. She took his hand, tight, and jumped with him into the fire. The pit's heat hit them instantly. The ground was uneven, sharp with spikes. Shadows moved in the corners, massive claws scraping stone, eyes glowing. Orange in the dark. Jason's heart thudded in his chest, but he kept his grip on Zara's hand. Then came the first roar. A massive beast, part bone, part flame, charged from the far side. Its back dripped with lava, and its mouth opened wider than a tank hatch. "Run?" Jason asked. "Together," Zara shouted. They ran, but not to escape. They ran toward the wall, toward higher ground. Jason climbed first, pulling Zara up behind him. The beast slammed into the stone below, missing them by inches. "We can't outrun it forever," he said, breathing hard. "We won't," she answered, her eyes focused. "We make it fight itself." Zara pointed toward a weak lava shelf above. "We break that." Jason nodded. "You jump." "I'll draw it under." "What?" "No, trust me." Before she could argue, he slid down the stone and whistled loud. "Hey, flame dog." "I'm crispy and delicious." The beast roared and chased him. Zara leapt into action. She used her light frame to climb to the shelf. With a sharp kick, she triggered the crack. The lava above shifted. Jason barely dodged the claws before Zara shouted, "Now!" He rolled under a rock outcrop. The lava fell. The beast howled, then silence. Jason peeked out. The creature was gone, buried in fire and rock. Zara jumped down and ran to him. "Are you hurt?" "Only my pride. I think I screamed like a goat back there." She laughed a real laugh. "You were brave." He looked at her, sweat and ash on both their faces. "We did it, together." Up above, the queen stood at the edge of the pit, watching. This was no trick. This bond was real. And it was growing stronger with fire. The royal challenge the sky had turned silver by the time Jason and Zara were pulled from the trial pit. Their bodies were bruised, their clothes torn, and their hands still locked together. But they walked out alive and together. The alien guards, once cold and mocking, now stepped back with respect in their eyes. Whispers followed the couple as they passed. They survived. The flame beast has never been beaten without weapons. Perhaps the bond is real, but the queen had not spoken yet, and silence from the throne was more dangerous than 1,000 angry words. Jason and Zara were summoned to the royal hall again. This time, no chains, no guards between them. But as they entered, they could feel the tension in the air. Dozens of royal advisors stood in rows, faces stone hard, arms crossed. And on the throne, the queen watched them like a hunter watching prey. She rose slowly. "You passed the trial pit," she said. "But loyalty must not only survive fire, it must survive truth." Jason swallowed hard. "More tests?" Zara stepped forward. "My queen, he has proven himself. He saved me, fought for me, endured pain beside me. What more do you want?" The queen's voice was sharp. "I want his soul." Gasps echoed in the chamber. Jason blinked. "Sorry, what now?" The queen raised her hand. From the shadows, 2 guards brought forward a mirror unlike any Jason had ever seen. It was tall, smooth, and shimmered with shifting colors as if it was alive. "This is the mirror of essence," the queen said. "It reveals what lives inside your spirit. Not what you say, not what you do, but what you are." Jason glanced at Zara. "And if it doesn't like what it sees?" Zara's voice was tight. "Then the bond will shatter. You may lose your mind, or worse. It may show something no one can forgive." Jason stepped forward. "What if I don't look?" The queen's eyes narrowed. "Then you are a coward, and you will die." He took a breath. "Right, thought." So, as he stepped toward the mirror, the room faded. Sound vanished. Light twisted. And then he saw it not just his face, but his past. His childhood, small and scared. His years in war, trying to save lives, not take them. His regrets, his fears, his hopes. And something else. Zara appeared beside him in the reflection, not as an alien, but as someone he had come to trust. Someone he would protect. Suddenly, the mirror glowed gold. A sound like wind and music filled the room. Jason stumbled back. The mirror faded. The queen stood still. Then, after a long silence, she spoke. He has no lies in his heart. Shock rippled through the court. Zara let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. But then the queen added something no one expected. If he chooses it, he may become one of us. And just like that, the human was no longer a stranger. He was now a possible part of the royal bloodline. But only one choice remained. The queen's final decision. The court was silent, so silent, it felt like time itself had stopped. Jason stood beneath the glowing throne, every eye locked on him. The queen's words still rang through the grand hall. If he chooses it, he may become one of us. But what did that mean? Was it a reward, a trap, or something else entirely? Zara stepped closer to him, her voice soft but steady. If you say yes, you will no longer be just human. The bond will tie you to our people. You'll share our legacy, our future, even our pain. Jason looked at her. And if I say no, Zara's voice dropped. You will go free. But you'll walk away from everything we've built, from me. His heart pounded. So much had happened since he crashed on this strange world. He had come here a stranger, treated like an enemy. Now, he stood at the edge of something bigger than survival. He looked at the queen. Her face was calm, unreadable. But her eyes, they no longer held suspicion. They held curiosity, maybe even respect. I didn't come here looking to join a new family, Jason said slowly. I didn't expect to fight for my life, to bond with someone from another world, or to care so deeply for her. He turned to Zara. But I do. He stepped forward and took her hand. I choose you. I choose this. The court erupted in gasps. The queen raised her hand for silence. Then she stood and descended the steps of her throne, something she had not done in years. She approached Jason and Zara, standing directly before them. Then, in a voice that echoed with both power and grace, she declared, Let it be known, this human has proven loyalty not with blood, not with power, but with honor. From this moment forward, he is not outsider, he is bonded. He is kin. The court slowly knelt in silent respect. Zara turned to Jason, her eyes shining not with duty, but with emotion. You've changed everything, she whispered. Jason smiled. Funny, I feel like I've just begun. Suddenly, soft lights floated down from the high ceiling. They circled the couple, wrapping them in golden glow. It was the final stage of the ritual, the moment two lives became one. Not just in body, but in spirit, and somewhere far beyond, in the sky above, two moons crossed for the first time in 100 years. It was a sign. Two worlds had met. Two hearts had chosen. And from that choice, a new future would rise. No longer was the human just a visitor. He was family. He was home. And together, with Zara at his side, he was ready to change their world forever.